we've been talking about a breakthrough for a long time. And I think a lot of you are already experiencing, Scorpio, success. That sense that comes from the long wait, the long haul, the long understanding of how to meld your desires with the desires of another, holding out until you are getting the response that you actually want from somebody. You know, if you've ever seen that video by Beyonce, Love on Top, finally you put my love on top. That's kind of that dance that I want you to see in your head right now, because you have waited and worked very hard. And I think that you've waited, as in wade, not wait, waited, like with your boots real high, wading through muck. You've waded through a lot of muck. Or there is somebody who's waded through a lot of muck for you. Either way, there has been a long haul commitment to making progress, making a push, doing something to make your life better. And there is a huge karmic payoff right now. I know, and yeah, I've gotten some weird comments, guys, in the comment section. Scorpios never are happy. Okay, low vibrating asshole. If you don't ever want to be happy, you're never going to be happy. But yes, Scorpios are happy. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden's pretty happy. He's a fucking Scorpio. You know? I'm pretty sure that Prince Charles was happy when he finally got to marry Camilla, right? It doesn't matter. And I think that's what I really need to say as a part of this reading, as I look at the cards. This isn't about what everybody else wanted. And I think a lot of the pushback that you were getting for, and it could be decades, a lot of the pushback that you were getting is because what you wanted and what made you happy was not what everybody else wanted for you, and it didn't make them happy. And they didn't see any value. Okay, I was going to say, they didn't see any value in your happiness. And that's ultimately what is true. But they didn't see any, what really was, they were playing it out as was, they didn't see in the value for you. You see. And because of all the grinding against Jupiter and Saturn right now, there is a push to purge karmic bullshit. Because remember, Jupiter and Saturn are both in Aquarius. So there's a sense of comeuppance as in, were you really doing it for the good of everybody, or just because that's what you want and you wanted to force it on me? Because whatever you've been forcing on me, probably you're talking about the outer planets. You're talking about long time. That's why I say it could have been going on for decades. Just because it wasn't better for you didn't make it what was the best for everybody. Like, that's the bullshit that I really want to draw your attention to. And what you will really make big breakthroughs with this week is those bullshit stories of, those bullshit stories of, well, you gotta do it for the family. You gotta do it because this is the way that you honor your father or mother. This is the way that will make everybody proud of you. Or this is those kind of things that people put into your head to control you, to manipulate you, to get you to do or fit into their long-term schematic. And that is what's really getting blown up this week for you. That bullshit contact, that bullshit that bullshit that has been coming from, I don't know if it's been from a group or a mentality. Could be a mentality when you're talking about, those large planets in Aquarius. It could be the crowd, the popular accepted meta-conscious is suddenly now getting exposed for the fucking fraud that it is. And you're probably helping to blow it up. because there are these lovely aspects this week between Pluto, which is your ruling planet, and the moon, where we can really, so what that tells me is it's not necessarily, but it also impacts the sun as well, because Pluto is still not too far from the sun. So ultimately, what am I trying to say in a convoluted fashion? Well, maybe I just have to get there. It's not a one sentence thing. Scorpios, it's really that it has taken a long time for first you to realize emotionally that you have been manipulated and that you have been basically miserable for the sake of what is now very clearly not somebody's intentions to do good for the bigger picture, but basically because it was just their way of making the big picture work. It was their way of painting the big picture. Well, it's that big picture painting that is coming down. And when it comes down, there's what rises up is the exposure of the fact that, you know what, the way that you felt or the way that you wanted things was never that bad. In fact, it was totally doable and it was completely fine. But ultimately, somebody has been, you've been living under the assumption that your happiness didn't matter as much as that big picture happiness. And this is the kind of role in life that you had to sit in and accept. And that is absolutely not true. And that easily you can train people's minds in another direction that does align with your happiness, and that people really react to your expectations of them, not necessarily the situation at hand. Let me take, for example, the Prince Charles and Camilla thing, because, so many people know about it. It's an easy story because so many people know it. And so many people have decided to hate her. But the truth is, she would have never been hated if his family respected his request to marry her from the very beginning. You would have never even known Diana. There would have never been an affair. There would have never been any of that fucking fallout for the greater good or for the bigger picture, which really wasn't even for the bigger picture. It was for the continuity of somebody else's needs. No. The continuity that somebody else needed to feel like they were doing the right thing or they were demanding the right thing from him, when they really, really weren't making sense out of the situation. The situation didn't even make sense. And this is really when sense gets illuminated, when truth gets illuminated, when we go into Aquarius season and we have that energy of being willing to rebel and go against what is stupid. Because remember, Aquarius is still intellect, right? It's still air. It's like rebelling against what is dumb, what has been carried on for so long that didn't even really make any sense. And that's the thing, because Uranus came out of retrograde on the 14th. And thank God, because when Uranus is in retrograde, that's when you get that real mob mentality, that real burner at the fucking stake kind of mentality. Where it's like we're doing it for the good of everybody. This is why we're doing such horrible things. No, you're doing such horrible things because you're horrible. Stop trying to dress it up as something that as something that's good. It's just you finding a vehicle for your shittiness that looks good, and that's why it carried on so long. And ultimately, that's really what gets ripped apart. It's really what gets shed. All that old crap that was fake and pretend and wasn't sincere, that mob mentality, that craziness in the brain of popular belief and what is good for all, but it's not really good for all. It had nothing to do with what was really good for all. Because the truth is, it wouldn't have made a fucking difference, right? It really wouldn't have made a difference if he ended up with the woman that he really wanted early on in his life. The only difference what it made is it would have saved a lot of people a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. The eggs that have been thrown at her over time have all been because of the choice that was forced for the greater good, which wasn't really even. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That truth, that honesty, that reality. And so that's the kind of reality that we start to experience now, and is really affecting you big time, because the pressure points are coming from your 8th house, which is the house of secrets, right? Where secrets are kept, where things are hidden, where we suppress our emotions. Those emotions are coming up, and it's coming up through some sort of connection or communication with a family member, or connection or communication that has to do, could be even the health of a family member. Realizing that you didn't have to go through all these lengths for all this time, that they would have been okay anyway. It's really like gonna make you feel, oh my God, this whole fucking time, I have been almost subjugated by somebody guilting me for all this time. And it really was never something I needed to feel ashamed of. Yep. These are clouds or delusions being set upon your desires, a sense of you not having a right to the desires, or having to hide the desires, or a sense of fog coming over so that you don't get to share your desires, or your confusion happening because with your own desires, like almost getting so deep in you that what you really wanted was murky for you, because there was so much shit that had been thrown on it your whole life. And this is when the murkiness clears, because the shame wears off. And that's what was making that murkiness stick. There's just a sense of, I never had to be ashamed, because the problem wasn't what I wanted. It was that somebody didn't agree with what I wanted and made it look like the best thing so that they could get their way. Practice daily. And this is through some hard work that you've been doing for yourself. Finding that peace, finding that tranquility, finding that strength and courage to find self-acceptance, through experimenting with different aspects of spirituality or religion, or different different practices, different meditations, different forms of just practicing every day. And as you learn and as you grow and as you find different solutions to these same problems, you start to have this aha, enlightened moment of, there was always another way. There was always many different ways. Why was I backed into this corner so much? Be fluid to come back to center. Open yourself up. There's a lot of vulnerability that's going to be here. Right? It's not the most comfortable position for you guys to feel this vulnerable, but ultimately it is sort of the purging that needs to happen from all the sickness that has caked on top of and formed this scab for so long. This is back to your truth. What really, not being scared to get to the heart of yourself anymore. Those tender things that, you start out as this bright-eyed child, right? That's just so open to everything. And then we get twisted by things that are not, we just get twisted by things that are not true. They work for others. They don't work for us. And you're about to get untwisted. I know, it's like, wait, what? Yeah, things are about to unravel in the most liberating sense for you. Because even at this point, not your whole world, but like a part of your world, the part of your world that this energy is surrounding. And it'll play out in different aspects of your life for each of you, Scorpio. But ultimately, it's this part of your world that's unraveling. Because it doesn't have to be your whole world, right? It just has to be part of it. The part of your world that's unraveling might completely just tower moment destruction. But it's almost like the meteor landed and destroyed everything around, including the cage that you were locked in. And for the first time in your life, that cage is open. Like, let the destruction happen. It's not going to destroy the parts of you that are important. It's going to destroy the parts of you that were superimposed and brainwashed onto you. That's what this is destroying. This is, look at this. This is getting back to the root and seed of what you really desire. Maybe of who you really desire, because this is very sexual energy. It's also very, attached to fertilization, fertilizing, somebody could be getting pregnant type of energy. But this is more releasing that energy that you've been told is a sickness, releasing that energy that you've been told is dangerous. Maybe it's dangerous and a sickness for them, not for you, not for your life, and you have a right to it. And the truth is, it's not really dangerous and sick for anybody. This is your sincere truth. You getting that power back to get close to your heart again. Meditate and contemplate. A lot of faith, finding a new start and a new beginning, maybe even awakening to a new set of beliefs and realizations, a new script, or not having a script at all, realizing that the one that you were given was really weighted in somebody else's favor, and you've been struggling for so long. When it comes to Capricorn energy, Saturn, hello, this is like a karmic cycle. This is like a breakthrough that's been happening to a cycle in your life that's been happening for, I would say, at least 12 years, if not more. And then you have a time for healing. So yeah, with this realization comes your ability to breathe again. Breathe fresh air, It's like somebody may have been feeding you the whole time, but they've been feeding you slop. And there are other options out there that you deserve to have, but you've been taking one for the team for quite some time. See, this is like covetous energy, turning away. Maybe you never saw it before, finally spotting what really works for you. Finally spotting, finally spotting another direction. Probably through a friendship or a connection with somebody else. That there are other alternatives, that there's another way to be, that you didn't notice. Because it's almost like in some ways you drank the Kool-Aid too, but you didn't know it was Kool-Aid. Somebody had programmed you to believe it was water this whole time. It's like finally getting a taste of real water. And at first it may not taste so good, but you realize the lie then, and that's the delicious part. That the awakening to the truth, that's the delicious part. I feel like somebody has been literally depending upon you looking in the other direction or being all caught up and tied up so that nobody saw your worth, or whoever was important, whoever's attention was important, just noticed you now. It's like you fell out of the ceiling, or an opportunity fell out of the ceiling. It's actually been there the whole time. But there was a veil over it, a mental veil that blocked it from you. This is happiness, joy. Yes, for Scorpio. Good times ahead. Fulfillment, happiness. Being able to be light and enjoy your life because this deception was broken. What is this deception? We're going to get into it. Full tarot card spread. I'm going to ask, what is a deception? What is a challenge? Who the bullshit come from? And then how do we move forward? All those answers are over in the extended video below. That link is right below. It includes your romance reading as well. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. I upload between 12 and 14 videos every single week, zodiac specific and not. And there's so much content here for you. Scorpio specific content comes out every Tuesday, FYI. But, watch your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. And then, you might want to cross watch for some other, for some insight into other people's aspect, other people's situation at the time. So there's so much content every week over here on YouTube. I welcome you to subscribe, like this video, share this video if you really love it, so that the word about Born Without Boundaries really gets out. And then of course ring that bell so you get notified when I upload all your favorite content. You can subscribe directly to Vimeo as well. That is all the extended readings. I upload 13 videos every single week over there. One of them is totally free. That's the weekly astrological forecast, which basically gives an overview of what's happening in the cosmos and how it's going to impact us. And I also post that, or partially post that, to Instagram, which I welcome you to do. I give a live daily reading over on Instagram Monday through Friday, and it's just off the hook. So I welcome you to join me for those. Born_without_boundaries. That's where you will find me. And last but not least, thank you for everything you do for the channel. It's been the bomb from the very beginning. I was going to go right to angel messages. Why? I didn't even do animal totems yet. Let's do animal totems for Scorpio. For Scorpio. Oh yeah, this caused a lot of pain because it's coming out in the past, and the one thing that showed itself to me most prominently was sometimes life stings. Wasp energy. So this has caused a great deal of suffering. It could have also caused a great deal of awakening, because as you were suffering, the suffering taught you things. That's what this is saying. So had you not been through this suffering, you might not have got to the point where you are now, somebody that could actually enjoy their abundance and their enlightenment. Because maybe back then, in some ways, you were undeserving. Or at the very least, undeserving in the way that you didn't have the fortitude or strength inside, believing in yourself, to know that you could go against their wishes or go against the grain. And yeah, you'd suffer consequences, but suffering consequences isn't ultimately a sign of you doing something wrong. It just sometimes means that you're doing something that other people don't agree with, so they make you suffer for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, this caused a lot of pain, but it also caused a lot of lessons. It was in a way, it was for as long as you've dealt with this, it has been a conduit for enlightenment. Time to let go. This is more Scorpio energy. Let go of the suffering of the past, because honestly, holding on to it is just going to hold you trapped there. It's going to keep you stuck there. If you're looking for a way to make this pain never have happened, there is no way to make this pain never have happened. This pain has happened. And the best that you can do to make pain go away is learn from it. That's the only way to actually make it not just go away temporarily, but make it be done completely, permanently. That's the only way. Be loyal to what you love. Finally, this time now, that you can come out and be exactly who you are, as well as family. Once again, this has something to do with sticking by your family, standing by your family, or effectually having them stick up and stand by you. But honestly, now there's almost this sense of radiating from you, being absolutely evident in your truth. Not having to feel like you have to hold back or hide it for any reason. Ooh, time for a deep love. That's really interesting, this romantic nuance. And I will get into that in the romance specific reading. But there is this undertone of finding somebody that you really fucking love, or a lover that really balances you out. That, you know, it's not that it's a perfect scenario. It's like this lover is somebody who wants to grow with you. They want to evolve. You see that you want to evolve, they want to evolve. It's like you can move forward together. It's not about meeting a perfect person, but it's about meeting somebody who wants to perfect themselves and is willing to take some hits and suffering for it. And that could also be your experience right now too, meeting with somebody who makes you feel secure in going through it, secure in admitting where you were wrong, admitting where you fucked up, admitting where you trusted people too much, and being able to finally let it go because you have somebody's hand to hold, to move forward with. That someone telling you that it's okay to not be perfect now. This is all Scorpio energy. Dream the world into being. So the world that you're making hasn't been created yet. So if things feel cloudy now, it's because you're going to have to be the one that puts the paint on the canvas. You have to create the world before. This world that you're walking into hasn't been seen before. It's going to be an amalgamation of your, not imagination, your experiences and your wisdom at this point, so that you know and have faith in and trust what you're doing and the decisions you're making is right. Because it's not about necessarily, I just read this on a new deck of tarot cards that I got. It's not necessarily that you're taking a leap of faith into the right thing. It's the leap of faith itself that is the right thing. And that's what this card is all about. Your past is informing your future. It's what's making it so solid because of what not to do, or what to avoid, and what you don't want to see happen again. So it's if the memory of that, the memory of all that pain and sorrow, making you realize how to not set it up for the future, like how to not repeat those same things, but not even just for you, to kind of be like, this is the evil that comes from it, and I'm not going to have it. But once again, how does it remain spiritual? It's almost like, I just heard it in my head. Give me a second, Scorpio. I thank you for your patience anyway. Hold on. Not setting up a new religion. What the does that mean? Okay, it's not setting up a new rule. It's learning that the rules themselves, that the faith that you may have been introduced to a long time ago, or the ideas, were not in and of themselves bad. It was being forced and told you were wrong, and that there were consequences if you didn't adhere to them, that made them unacceptably wrong. And that is why that's what you're gonna really break open, is it's the structure that surrounds the faith that is absolutely the bad thing. Faith itself is the wonderful thing. And of course, I mean these as metaphors. It's like, don't put rules and laws around your new love affair, or your new job, or your new opportunities. Enough with the expectations and enough with the rules, making sure the way you're protecting the future is ensuring that the same bad behavior isn't exacted on the future as it was on you, by forcing you to out of your comfort zone and into a brainwashed state, and a miserable state, because you were made to feel not only like you're going against the grain that your soul is pulling you in, but that you're a bad person for wanting something different. And that's what you're blowing out of the water. To never ever be stuck in that mindset again. Let's go on to the angel messages. Yes, you can go right to the extended video now if you want. I love angel messages. They're my favorite part, so. Okay. Integrity. How do these cards come up? Because the angels are listening. Be flexible, but also be true to you. Stand by your beliefs and values, and others will stand by and believe in you. Let them laugh. Just because you hear the sound of their laughter doesn't mean you can survive it. Doesn't mean that it's not really what's for the best. Sacred space. We, your guardian angels, surround you with emerald, gold, and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter this sacred space of love and healing. And this is from the outside, right? This is people realizing that they were wrong to treat you the way that they did. Healing angel. At this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. This is life being renewed for you. Do it now. Whatever that means to you, don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it is the guiding voice of your soul. And you can trust it again, because all that shit, the bullshit, has been shattered apart. You realize it for what it is now. Sacred source, we, your angels, are here to remind you of your magnificence. You are literally an angel in the making, a being of eternal love and light, forever one with God, Goddess, and all creation. So you have sacred source and sacred space. And then last but not least, no, there's one more. It's hidden. Clarity. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in the blue of the sky. Feel a gentle breeze flow through you. There is peace. There is clarity. A magical healing has just taken place, a gift from your guardian angel. Whoa, I told you, it's just like revelation. And then peace. No matter where you are or what you're doing, inner peace is always possible. All it takes is a subtle shift in awareness. Think love, and peace will follow. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. The tarot link is below. I'll see you guys over there.